All right, we're here with the first video of the day. We're going to talk about, well, I guess, Trump's Tweetstorm yesterday. So he just pretty much went off, did about, well, over 100 tweets in about 3 hours. Pretty much all sorts of stuff, going from Nancy Pelosi and talking about Chris Wallace, to Hillary's email scandal and the Russia hoax, to trying to figure out, to basically saying if they do a standalone stimulus of just the $1,200 checks to give to people, and if they put that right in front of me, I'll sign it immediately. Yet Nancy Pelosi still keeps stimming that stimulus bill because she doesn't want it, apparently, or she's just using it for whatever politicization that she wants it to be. Because Trump is basically now saying, if you take out all that crap and you maybe, or if you just give me some standalone of the stuff that I want, or what's really needed, not really what Trump wants, but really what's needed for the country at this point, then because I don't think anybody wants these Democrat-run states to be bailed out with the coronavirus relief fund. Why? Because they're destroying their states. They're allowing riots to happen and protests, while over $2 billion in insured damages. Sorry, I've been saying $2 billion damage, but that's just what's been insured. Is $2 billion worth of damages. Who's to say it's not $4 billion, $5 billion? I'm sure the price is just inexcusable. It's inexcusable at $2 billion. It's inexcusable for any of the damages, really. And I think the Democrats have a lot to play into that, and the media trying to incite them. They keep trying to claim that Trump is inciting violence and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, he really isn't. He says something, then you guys take it out of context, and then you claim he's a white supremacist and a racist, and then you try to rile up your fan base to start acting. So we'll get into it here, and then with the Daily Mail. It says, Donald Trump announces he has authorized the total declassification of all documents related to Hillary's email scandal and the Russia hoax after calling the FBI scum. Trump went on a Twitter frenzy on Tuesday night at the White House, said he would approve a standalone bill for individual stimulus checks, claimed he had ordered declassification of all Russian collusion probe docs, slammed Fox News anchor Chris Wallace over his debate moderation, claimed confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett to SCOTUS will be fast and easy, blasted Showtime's The Comey Rule based on James Comey's memoir. It followed tweet that tanked the stock market, saying stimulus deal is off. Some have wondered if Trump is experiencing side effects of steroid treatment. Biden responded by tweeting a GIF saying, "Get off Twitter, pleading please." No, I think Trump should stay on Twitter and just continuously do it. It's his right. It's his First Amendment right to say pretty much whatever he wants. And, the media is just going to take him out of context and just try to smear him for whatever he can. So you know what? How about just start spewing everything at once? Just go full mayhem and just start tweeting like a madman at every single thing that has been happening. Because then they can't ignore all of it. Oh, no, they can't. They're going to do select, obviously, tweets, But, they can't ignore this stuff anymore, and it's starting to come out. I don't care if it was just steroid hallucination or side effect or whatever. I don't care. It's putting you guys out more in the open. So President Donald Trump said that he has fully authorized the total declassification of any and all documents pertaining to Russia collusion, calling the investigation a hoax. The tweets about the documents were mixed in with a torrent of tweets made by Trump on Tuesday, who made 42 tweets and retweets in under an hour. I fully authorized the total declassification of any and all documents pertaining to the single greatest political crime in American history, the Russia hoax. He said in the Tuesday evening tweet, likewise, the Hillary Clinton email scandal, no redactions. He later added, all Russia hoax scandal information was declassified by me long ago. Unfortunately for our country, people have acted very slowly, especially since it is perhaps the biggest political crime in the history of our country. Act, is what he said. Trump gave the green light to Attorney General Bill Barr to declassify any documents related to the surveillance of Trump's campaign in 2016, Fox News reports. John Ratcliffe, Director of National Intelligence, declassified notes from former CIA Director John Brennan on Tuesday that showed that former President Barack Obama was briefed on a plan to tie Donald Trump to Russia as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server ahead of the 2016 election. Today, at the direction of President Trump, I declassified additional documents relevant to ongoing congressional oversight and investigative activities, Ratcliffe said in a statement. The notes were taken after Obama had been briefed on the matter, a source familiar with the matter shared. Trump has issued a flurry of tweets on a wide range of topics while under quarantine in the East Wing, slamming the FBI, FDA, Joe Biden, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Chris Wallace. In one tweet, Trump set his terms for approving a stimulus bill from Congress hours after saying he would cease all negotiations with Democrats until after the November 3rd election, which was probably just a tactic to try to get them to, even come out in the slightest and be like, oh, yeah, we're working on it, we got to do something, because boy, have they been delaying. And it's not it's Republicans, it's Democrats, they don't want to help us. They want the people to suffer. Not Trump, Congress, the Senate, a lot of them, a good chunk of these career politicians just want to see us suffer because they want us to be dependent on them. Here's one of the tweets from Trump. If I am sent a standalone bill for stimulus checks, $1,200, they will go out to our great people immediately. I am ready to sign right now. Are you listening, Nancy? Are you listening, Nancy? Then there's Joe Biden. Please, get off Twitter. Biden, why don't you get out of your basement? How about you go on the campaign trail for more than half of the freaking month? Because, how many days did you take off early? I think it was like 12, 13, maybe 14. It was probably about almost 2 weeks out of an entire month. You called it a lit early. And you know who filled in for you? Your wife, Bernie Sanders. Dude, we're like a month away from the election and you've got stand-ins because you can't manage to stay awake past noon, Biden. Yeah, I want that as a president. A guy that can't stay awake past noon. Says the House and the Senate should immediately approve $25 billion for airline payroll support, a $135 billion for paycheck protection program for small businesses, he wrote in another tweet. I did see one article saying that Nancy was looking to approve the $25 billion for airline payroll support, but that was pretty much it. That was it. She was looking to introduce a standalone bill just for that. Not to help the American people or anything. No. Just one of the things that Trump said, though. Both of these will be fully paid for with unused funds from the CARES Act. Have this money, I will sign now, he continued. Biden and Trump's Democrat opponent in the presidential election responded by tweeting a GIF that would only be aimed at the president of himself, saying, "Get off Twitter." New FDA rules make it more difficult for them to speed up vaccines for approval before Election Day. Just another political hit job, Trump tweeted separately. I'd rather just have it be secure as possible, so if it takes a while, then it's fine. I don't even really care for a virus, or really care for the vaccine, because the survivability rate is 99.96%, and it's no deadlier than, the common cold? I'm pretty sure we have more people dying each year of drug overdoses than this. So there's more pressing concerns than, just the coronavirus vaccine. In another tweet, he cited reports of voting irregularities. 11,000 North Carolina residents get incorrect voter registration forms. 2,000 LA County voters received faulty ballots with no way to vote for president. Many others throughout USA. Here we go. This will be the most corrupt election in American history. Yeah, that's just 2 of them. I mean, I've covered at least a dozen stories of voter fraud. Tim Pool has covered well over 100 probably at this point. In a separate tweet, he wrote, "I have fully authorized a total declassification of any and all documents pertaining to the single greatest political crime in American history, the Russia hoax. Likewise, the Hillary Clinton email scandal. No redactions." No redactions. That is hype. Let's see if it comes out. Came as a response to a tweet from Hoover Institution media fellow Paul Sperry, whom Trump also retweeted more than a dozen times in the span of an hour. Trump has previously vowed to declassify documents related to the FBI's 2016 Trump-Russia investigation and special counsel Robert Mueller's subsequent probe, which found no proof that the Trump campaign criminally conspired with the Russian government. Indeed, in a follow-up tweet, Trump wrote, "All Russia hoax scandal information was declassified by me long ago. Unfortunately for our country, people have acted very slowly, especially since it is perhaps the biggest political crime in the history of our country. Act." So yeah, he just kind of went off, just... If you want to go, you can read all these tweets, on his own Twitter page, so I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to read every single one of them either, because we'll be here for an hour. Said, "So I constantly fight off all of the scum, achieve more than any other president in first term, and then they talk chaos. They created crimes against me in this administration. Can't believe these con men are not yet being prosecuted. Pathetic," Trump said of the FBI investigators. Yeah, I think most Americans are pretty fed up and want to start seeing some indictments come out on these people, because boy, are we fed up, and there's probably enough evidence at this point to indict them. But then again, it is a strategy. You have to get all of them. If you let a bunch of them roam free, then there's the possibility that they're going to come back and they can get their friends out. Trump's Tweetstorm on Tuesday night followed an earlier tweet that sent stock markets crashing when he said there will be no deal with Democrats on additional pandemic stimulus until after the election. Yeah, he'll say stuff, it'll go down, and then it'll come back up. It constantly does that. While some theorized that it might be a negotiation tactic, others pointed to one of the medications Trump is taking to treat coronavirus, dexamethasone, a steroid that can have side effects of aggression, agitation, and confusion. On Monday, Trump's Twitter account was locked after he shared the email address of a New York Post columnist. That probably shouldn't do that. Twitter forced Trump to delete the tweet before unlocking the account, citing rules against sharing private information without consent. And then it tries to give you all what are the drugs Trump is being treated with, and what are their side effects. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. They're all going to have side effects. I mean, whatever. So what if he's agitated? I mean, I'd be agitated too. Especially when the media is, 98% against me and just wants me gone. Wants me dead. I'd be agitated too. And then eventually, when the agitation finally rises, maybe with the drugs, then yeah, he went on a just complete tweet storm, just going after everybody. We also then got from Fox News, Trump's call to declassify Russia collusion, Clinton documents sparks fierce debate online. They're trying to say, oh, but he's working with the Russians. It's Donald Trump working with the Russians. When we have all this evidence that Hillary Clinton paid a Russian spy to create a Steele dossier in order to create this whole Russia hoax. Considering that Steele dossier was created about 10 years prior. Well, this basically says a lot of the same... bunch of the same stuff as well. Trump's demand came a day after he was released from Walter Reed Medical Center after a brief stay after coming down with COVID-19. The presidential election is headed into the final stretch, and Trump seems to have some ground to make up, according to recent polls. Yeah, the polls are saying he's like 13, 12, 11 points behind, and yeah, I don't really believe that, because they were saying that about Hillary Clinton before too, and well, you know what? She lost. The president's announcement led to fierce exchanges on social media. General Michael Hayden, the former CIA director under President George W. Bush, got into a public clash on Twitter with Richard Grenell, the former acting director of National Intelligence under Trump. Grenell had tweeted a link to an exclusive Fox News story about John Ratcliffe, the administration's top intelligence official, and the declassification of documents that revealed former CIA director John Brennan briefed former President Obama on Clinton's purported plan to tie then-candidate Trump to Russia as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server ahead of the 2016 presidential election, according to a source. Grenell, a vocal Trump supporter, tweeted that the report was proof that Obama and Joe Biden, his vice president at the time, directed their administration to use the powers of government to attack Trump's campaign and transition team. The Susan Rice, Obama's national security advisor, emailed to herself after the Oval Office meeting was part of the cover-up, Grenell wrote. Hayden, who who has spoken out about Trump in the past and announced that he is supporting Biden, responded to Grenell, "You are an a-hole." Really? Well, I guess you're just going to use insults then? Well, that's a good argument. Okay. You're a general? Or you were a general? Grenell responded, "I see you don't like to be exposed, and so you resort to name-calling. Transparency isn't political." Last week, Ratcliffe wrote in a letter to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham that said in late July 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies obtained insight into Russian spycraft alleging that Clinton, who was running for president, had approved a campaign plan to stir up a scandal against Trump. Which the Democrats are known just to start making up random lies and try to have scandals happen for the opposite side. Ratcliffe added that American intelligence agencies do not know the accuracy of this allegation or the extent to which the Russian intelligence analysis may reflect exaggeration or fabrication. Trump supporters have long insisted that the investigations into his campaign and transition were the result of the inability of Democrats to get over his win in 2016. Trump supporters took to Twitter to praise the development. Charlie Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA, tweeted, "Let me get this straight. Hillary Clinton planned, financed, and executed the Russian hoax. The intel agencies knew about and briefed Obama on it, and no one seems to care. Where is Adam Schiff? Where is Rachel Maddow? This is a bombshell, and they're completely ignoring it." Mark Levin, the host of Life, Liberty, and Levin, tweeted out the same Fox News link and said, "Caught red-handed, this is big. Way back on March 2nd, 2017, I said Obama had to know." Yeah, it's starting to look dicey for you, Hillary. So some of Trump's critics took to Twitter to downplay the significance of the announcement and tried to frame it as a last-minute sign of desperation for his campaign. Garrett M. Graff, the director of Aspen Institute's cybersecurity program, appeared to mock the president's announcement and seemed to poke fun at the president's mental state after receiving treatment for coronavirus, which included the steroid dexamethasone. He asked if Trump's decision was based on steroid-induced rage. I think it's more agitation against the media and the, establishment elites, trying to undermine him, screw him over, and probably label him a white supremacist. And, label anyone that supports him a white supremacist. When in fact, I'm pretty sure it was the Democrats that owned slaves back in the day. It was Democrats that were part of the Klan. Oh. Maybe they're just projecting. Oh. Who knows? DNI Ratcliffe memo says Trump directed him to declassify unenlightening/unconvincing cherry-picked snippets of CIA docs to hype false claim that Russian interference was hoax. Pushed by Clinton and John O'Brien, the former head of CIA, he ended the tweet, #embarrassment. This is coming from Andrew S. Weiss, the James Family Chair and Vice President for Studies at the Carnegie Endowment, called the developments total national security malpractice. I'm guessing that he had said the rest of this too, because they're not being very clear on that. Let's see. Allies of the president have criticized officials like FBI Director Christopher Wray and CIA Director Gina Haspel, claiming that the directors have been blocking the release of documents. Trump posted on Tuesday, "All Russia hoax scandal information was declassified by me long ago. We know. Unfortunately for our country, people have acted very slowly." Then he says, "Act," he tweeted. Yeah, I think we need to start seeing more evidence come out against, for this whatever Russia collusion was. They spent trillions of dollars on a 4-year hoax. Yeah, now Rachel Maddow is silent. Why is she silent on this? I thought this would be breaking news for her. Oh man, it's almost like the Russia collusion was only a scheme to try to undermine the presidency. Well, we also then got from Gateway Pundit, you saying it. President Trump authorized total declassification of all documents related to Spygate, Hillary email scandal with no redactions. That's what I'm hyped about, is the no redactions part. Trump urges Congress to pass more coronavirus aid hours after breaking off negotiations. So yeah, he'd said, for the $25 billion in airline payroll, $135 billion for paycheck protection program, and to give people, their checks. So at this point, it's on Nancy Pelosi. And if she's unwilling to, she's just going to try to then she's probably going to blame the GOP for not coming to an actual conclusion. Even though you could just make these standalones and start helping people out immediately, I doubt she'll do it. We also then, from Fox, DNI declasses Brennan notes CIA memo on Hillary Clinton stirring up scandal between Trump, Russia. And then we also have the video that Michelle Obama came out with yesterday, basically just saying Trump is, racist and blah, blah, blah. So Trump comes back with a pretty funny tweet then, is basically a part of her speech. And in the background is basically the rioting, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, destroying buildings, burning things down, causing violence. Yeah. It says President Donald Trump lashed out at his critics and political opponents as he battled the coronavirus Wednesday, keeping up an hours-long stream of online invective as he is treated with experimental medications. The president was already being tagged by critics with a bout of roid rage when he fired off 42 tweets Tuesday and overnight. He was back at it Wednesday morning, this time retweeting a claim that if Democrats take over the government, the nation would turn into a hellhole. In just one fiery example Wednesday, Trump went after former First Lady Michelle Obama, who ranks as among the most popular political figures in the country. A day after she released a 24-minute video calling him a racist, Trump retweeted actor James Woods, who replaced the background for the clip with shots of urban mayhem and buildings on fire. Trump earlier retweeted a self-described free speech radicalist who wrote, "It's not Republican versus Democrat anymore. It's pro-America versus turn us into a third world hellhole." Trump also made the difficult to turn back up claim. Boy, please get an editor. Jeez. That he can win California, and said if he does, he can end the forest fires that have ripped through Napa and other areas, along with the rolling blackouts and water measures amid years of drought. Boy, Daily Mail, you are just getting worse and worse at this. Vote Trump, California, no more blackouts, shutdowns, ridiculous forest fires, or water rationing coming soon. We can win in California now, the president posted from his iPhone on 8:43 a.m. A poll released on September 30th by KGTV and Survey USA had Joe Biden leading Trump there by 27 points. Isn't California just completely on fire? Didn't Nancy Pelosi just lose like a ton of jobs? Isn't Gavin Newsom now like becoming a complete authoritarian dictator? Pretty sure. It isn't known if Trump's doctors are recommending bed rest, but at 8:18 a.m. Trump was lobbying attacks at Never Trump Republican consultant Steve Schmidt, who has accused Trump of tyranny and hypocrisy, and whose group, the Lincoln Project, mocked the video Trump released of his dramatic return to the White House. TV journalist Greta Van Susteren had retweeted Schmidt, writing, "Why are you so rude? It is one thing to disagree with someone, but you get so personal with name calling, and you seem to have a particular willingness to insult women." Schmidt had just retweeted Trump loyalist Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, who welcomed Trump's return from the hospital and made the claim that Trump had once again defeated China, echoing the president's claims about what he calls China virus. I mean, it's kind of true. Looks like he also tweeted out the big Trump sign on the 405 in L.A. Schmidt, a former advisor to Senator John McCain, flamed her. Howard Baker was once a United States Senator from Tennessee. This woman is a five-star fool. What an embarrassment. Yeah, Trump doesn't care who he's bashing. If it's a woman, it's a man. If it's, I don't know, an albino giraffe, he's probably going to bash it. Especially if they're, calling him out and, calling him an a-hole and saying he needs to step it up, or that he's just doing a bad job over and over and over and over and over again, even though all the coronavirus stuff was pretty much up to the local government. So it was really up to the local government whether or not all these deaths happened. So why blame Trump? He's the one that shut down travel from China. He only allowed essential people, Americans and officials, to be able to come back from China. during in like January, February. But what were the Democrats doing in February? Oh, they were promoting giant large gatherings in Chinatown and to celebrate the Lunar New Year. I do remember that. Mayor Bill de Blasio and Nancy Pelosi. I think a lot of these local Democrat government officials need to maybe actually take credit instead of actually blaming Trump for all the mayhem, because I guarantee you most of it's on them. So I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to say one last thing here then. We got from the Washington Free Beacon. NBC News undecided voters previously featured as Biden supporters on MSNBC. Basically, they're taking the same people that were a part of another town hall and claiming that they're undecided into another town hall. Yeah, Democrats, this is no surprise because you cherry pick anybody you can, and then you're going to give Biden the most softball questions possible. So yeah, a bunch of them were already, hard Biden fans, anti-Trumpers, so yeah, you can't really claim they're undecided when they're not really undecided. Only one of them probably was, which was this one here. It says another undecided voter featured in NBC's town hall, Mateo Gomez, told NBC on September 30th that he was leaning toward voting Biden over Trump after watching the first debate. That's probably the only one I would have said that's an undecided voter. The rest, not so much. So Biden, how about you stop cheating, boy? How about you actually come out of your basement and actually do something? Oh, wait, you haven't in the last 47 years of being a politician. You were vice president for 8 of those. And you did nothing. Oh, wait, you did. You made us go into what was supposed to be an endless war. And you killed many, many innocents. Along with Obama. Yeah, Biden, you're a disgrace. And boy, I don't think you won't even last a week in the White House. Because they're probably gonna suicide you. And Harris will take over. Guarantee you, Harris will take over within the first week, within the first month. Biden, you wouldn't last at all in the office. I'm sorry. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. We're going to have 2 more videos coming up later today. I'll see you then.